Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Apex Racing TV and welcome to live coverage of the Racehub World GT Championship. We're here for the second race meeting of the season, races 4, 5 and 6 from Watkins, Glen International. The classic boot layout with a Formula 1 World Championship contested races in the 70s. And one person that definitely doesn't know about that, joining me in the commentary box, neither do I, alongside me, Adam Bath, is Alex Simpson. Alex, Watkins Glen, the track, it's one that I think you and me both really like. Loads of great action in many of the series that we've covered in the past here, like the Grand Prix series and the BSRTC, and with what I can see, 48 GT3 cars in the field. It's going to be pretty hectic out there with not much runoff area.
Yeah, I think you're right. Hello, everyone. Looking forward to tonight. Last night's BSR Grand Tour event was good here. Throw the same amount of cars on again to this grid, and I think we're going to have an absolute epic one. So classic boot circuit, 3 20-minute races for you, just as there was a question on the chat tonight. Should be an awful lot of fun. Reverse grids, we've got a wheel, and of course don't forget we have the Simmortal prize draw wheel at the end of the night as well. Yes, that has been freshly made for this race meeting. Hundreds, up to 100 segments, isn't it? I think, Alex. Yeah, I don't think all the places went, so we may have to do a respin. But I've got a list of who's got what,
and we'll get into that prize where it lies later on. Wheel of Fortune, whatever you want to call it. We're only through the championship standings as we're just coming to the end of the qualifying session. I believe that you'll see the times coming along the bottom of the screen as the checkered flag has just been unfurled. Nicole Foggy currently on pole, but in the championship standings it's also Nicole Foggy leading the way. One victory at so far this season. He took the opening race victory of the season at last week, wherever we were for that one, because I wasn't here. I think it was at Circuit of the Americas. Yes, it was. Second in the championship, 11 points behind Richard Kofenko. Jake Blackwell, highest of the BMWs. Good to see the BMW still going strong. Hopefully that's some sort of indication about the balance of performance with the BMW up there. 9 points behind him, it's Michael Evdoka, then Josh Thompson, who had a victory as well last week. Pete Harrod in 6th, then it's Kumo in 7th, Ben Gregory 8th, Bart Delman 9th, and Miguel Freitas in 10th. Over in the team standings, it's XVR Sim Racing, which is made up of the likes of Nicole Foggy and Johnny Brandon and whatnot. They're top of the tree there. Then second, it's CQR Club. They're joint second, in fact, because Youth Energy are there. Strong sports car racing pedigree on iRacing. They're slowly getting to grips with the BSRTC, but this is really their homeland. Then it's Nomad Sim Racing in 4th, CQR Am Fabrications in 5th, Driving Revolution Sim Racing 6th, Small Time Racing, that's Paul Smith's team, among others, in 7th. Then Fitzdie Motorsport in 8th, Boosted Sim Sport, sorry, in 9th, and then Savage with Boosted in 10th, and that's the second of the AM teams. And as the cars slowly filter their way towards the end of the qualifying session, Alex, championship standings are sort of mirrored in the qualifying order. A lot of big names up there.
Yeah, people very early on in the season sort of making their mark. Last week was particularly good. Some great racing, and I think some of the guys who want to get in and amongst the front that maybe had a DNF and things like that, they're going to have to go some tonight to try and close the points, because you're right, Foggy looking very, very quick again. Mattia, very good. He had a bit of a rocky start to the series, but showing a good pace. Baker up there as well. So yeah, like you say, all the similar names up there once again. So mid-pack guys trying to break into that top slot are going to have a tough job.
Well, welcome to all our viewers on Facebook. We're getting into the swing of that now, and also welcome to the viewers that are joining us on iRacing Live. I believe we're on iRacing Live tonight. So
I don't actually think we are on iRacing Live. Actually, I think we're on Facebook, and I think we're on our own YouTube channel. So
well, there you go.
We're free to say what we want.
Well, I did mention a few of the sim racing loose term. I'm sure I'll get that thrown at me during the Le Mans BSRTC broadcast on Thursday, only because one of the chicanes was named after it. But we'll move over that. Right then, down to the grid. Starting on the pole position is Nicole Foggy. Starting in second, it's Mattia Fellini, World Championship driver with an impeccable safety rating. I think that's as high as it can go, 4.99. Dave Baker starting in third for CQR Racehub. Then it's CQR Fabrications' Josh Thompson in fourth. Then Johnny Brandon in fifth, Richie Kafenku sixth. CQR Racehub's Christian Rowe starting in seventh. Then Chris Wood in eighth for Team Mad. Ninth, Kieran Rush, and 10th, Richard Warmingham in the XVR Green team. Then 11th, Stuart McFadden, CQR S-Line. He's been pretty good in race threes of late. He nearly made it 3 race threes in a row in the BSRTC on Thursday if it wasn't for a bit of an incident early on. Steve Baxter, championship leader in that series. He starts in 12th. Then it's Michael Hall in 13th, Bart Delman 14th. 15th is Michael Blake. Then we've got Ronald Moons in the Simmortal Go-Kart World Kart. Then it's Ben Hackerson, boosted Sim Sport in 17th. Michael Evdoka representing himself starting in 18th. And then Anwar Smith for Youth Energy 19th and Andy Shield, car 007 in 20th. David White 21st. Then it's, Dion Phillips in 21st. Then David White 22nd. Chaz Draycott for the Thrust Vector team in 23rd. Adam Hedgecock in 24th. Driving for Savage with boosted. Miguel Freitas starting in 25th. Then it's Stephen Dawson. 27th on the grid is Simon Underhill. Then Lee Deemer in 28th. Pete Newman for CQRS line in 29th. And Simon Field, a welcome return to the grid for him. Haven't commentated on a race with Simon Field in for quite a while. There's Nicolo Kumo, who's up inside the top 10 in the championship, starting in 31st here today as the cars get rolling away from the grid. Then in 32nd, it's Paul Smith. Matt Bunn in 33rd, Nate Simpson in 34th, Matt Keeber 35th, Steve Burke in 36th, then it's Carl Hardy in 37th, Mark Woodhouse in 38th, 39th for Robert Lundgren, then Luke Clark, Josh Rayfield, Stuart Atkinson, Gavin Wakefield, Jason Rowe in 44th, John Roberts in 45th, Mick Barry in 46th, 47th Jack Stiles, and it looks like Lee Woodburn hasn't rolled away as we take a very nice look of the start-finish line. I don't know whether you're still on that scene at camera, Alex.
I am. Yeah, don't worry. Fear not, my friend. Don't worry. I have got control.
And there is the XBR Sim Racing with what looks like a... Is that an Apex badge on the bonnet, Alex, or is that something completely different?
Yeah, you know, it is. It's an Apex TV badge in green. So very similar to our Academy one, of course.
Yeah, not to get too confused.
Plug while we're here. If you fancy a bit of LMP1 driving, I'm obviously running the LMP1s this season in the Le Mans series, and yeah, all the setups and everything else that are being shared over there. So, yeah, I didn't quite get any races last season, but we're doing them this one, racing the Strength of Field races that are on Wednesday and Friday. So yeah, come and join me. Yep. Fun. Like I say, we're setting all that going in motion again.
Yep, Wednesday night, 8 PM.
Yeah.
Make sure you join whoever's in the comms box for that one. Unfortunately, I'll be missing that. But and yeah, of course, the crew on Race Spot will be Friday night too. But yeah, as the field then starts to go through the boot section, and the way the corners are cambered here, Alex, it does allow for cars that are on the outside, when it looks like they're just about to get overtaken, they can put the power down and sometimes be able to pull back alongside and get in front by the time they get to the heel bit of the...
Kind of the beauty, I think, of this circuit is that it does allow for some great side-by-side action, and you can sort of get moves done around the outside, and typically one corner leads into the other. So if you can hold it around the outside, you've got the inside for the next corner. So it does really make for some great racing as well. Just as a reminder as well for everybody that doesn't know, hasn't followed the series, all the cars on the tower that are in white is your pro drivers, or your AM drivers are the red, and the selected driver is the one that's in green. And yeah, you'll see his name pop up in the bottom corner, as well as our battle box that will come up from time to time, and maybe our HUD and things like that as well. So, and it's the same on the mini map as well. So the white cars are the pros, and the reds are the AMs, so you get an idea where everybody is on the circuit and the field spread and everything else out there as well.
Might just be me. I've got a few orange and green on there. I don't know whether that's just because...
only on the class. Yeah. Yes, you will have orange and green. That's the driver colours. That's the little slashes to the right. And if I very, very quickly just switch the mini-map to that, you'll see that we can obviously show you the car colours. Here we go, though.
Green flag in the air. Lovely view of a grandstand and round 4 of the World GT Championship is underway here at the Glen. As a fantastic start by one of the BMWs on the outside. That's got to be Fulini, I think. He's trying to get through. And we're going up through the S's, and what a fantastic start by Nicole Foggy. And Simpson's dropping down the order. Nate Simpson, that is. Don't know why.
He's in the pits already, so yeah, some problem for him.
But as we go onto the back straight, looking from high above, it's the BMW that's got a decent tow. Haven't said that in a few years. And look at all the cars that are fanning out here. Great to see so many here. And it's Merc versus Beamer, something we usually see in the DTM, but we're seeing it in the sports cars here as the CQR and Fabrications car of Thompson tries to get the move done going into the boot section, Alex.
Yeah, he does. Oh, and I realised I haven't got Josh's livery. The trading plates kicked in, so don't worry, guys. I'll sort that out for the next one. But, oh, there's almost contact behind between Baker and Mattia. I see it there. So, but Thompson, he'd practiced that move a few times in the BSR race, and yeah, managed to pull it off big time tonight. So that practice paid off nicely. Baker dropped down quite a bit there. He's got boxed in somewhat, so that little fight there didn't quite work out, but of course he's happy. He's in 6th place. Yeah,
you'd thought he planned it. He's lost 3 positions already. That's Johnny Brandon has gone through in the XVR Sim Racing Mercedes, the team that's leading the team's championship, of course, and going through the penultimate corner now and into the final 90 right and onto the front straight again to complete a lap. It is a pretty short lap here in these sports cars. It's one of the CQR Racehub Ferraris, that must have been Baker. Runs out very wide to the outside wall, but over the line to complete the opening lap. Then it's Foggy, then it's Thompson, and it's Fulini, then it's Gafenku, Brandon, Baker, then Rose, Chris Woods, Jim McFadden, Kieran Roche rounding at the top 10ers. You can see the drivers all making the most of the runoff area on the exit of the first corner.
Thompson has just scampered away from the battle behind, and Richard Gafenku has been really, really quick this season, and is absolutely on the warpath again and trying to go around the outside of Dia here and the Driving Revolution Sim Racing, and he's having once again to defend a car that's attacking him around the outside of the carousel.
Now they're making the most of that runoff area there. That can sometimes end up in total chaos if you rejoin the circuit wrong or you hit a bump a bit too hard, as Tia uses a lot of the outside curb in his black and orange Mercedes. Johnny Brandon is on the warpath as well, as he and David Baker start to close in on these two. Youth Energy Mercedes and the Driving Revolution Sim Racing Mercedes going at it here. And then you've got the Mercedes of Brandon, and then you've got the 2 Ferraris behind, the CQR Racehub Ferraris, as Stephen Baxter and Kieran Roche, I think, have just exchanged positions in the background there as we go through the hill. And up to the toe. I believe that's the final part of the boot layout.
Correct, the hill. Yeah, the hill is the final part.
So we can look from the back of oh no, we're going to have a look here at Bart Delman. Now this is in the Nomad Sim Racing car 2. Oh, there's a wheel, there's side by side in front. That's the Simmortal car there of Kieran Roche, I think, losing a position to Richard Warmingham, who's gone through. And just in front, it looked like there was a bit of wheel to wheel there between Christian Rose and Chris Wood, as well as Delman.
Ben Hackerson, I think, going past Delman, and you've got Anwar Smith just behind them as well. Going to try and get the run on the pair of them. Oh dear! Just about saved that one. Well done, Ben.
There's literally nowhere to go at the top of the S's, apart from into the wall, and Ben Hackerson did a fantastic job. Would that have just been some aero getting taken off the McLaren going through the S's there?
I think it just got a little light, yeah. Not really sure how going up there, but it's not easy to... it's not like a Formula car or anything that's just going to stick through there, no problem. So it's something we've got to be a little bit careful of, and yeah, Ben noticed that slowdown for somebody, or is that a back marker?
It was Warmingham, I think. It says position 10 on the front of the car. That's what.
Oh no, it's Stephen Baxter in the 888 car. Was going very, very slow. So yeah, not quite sure what was going on for Baxter there, but yeah, big old slowdown, and of course they're still battling further back as well.
Yeah, this is the Youth Energy car of Anwar Smith trying to get past Ben Hackerson now. One of the few drivers in the McLaren, very much the elder statesman of the World GT Championship. It's been around for quite a while now. I think it was relatively new when I joined the iRacing service in 2014. But since then, everybody else has arrived on the scene. First we had BMW arriving, then we had the Mercedes and the Audis arriving at pretty much the same time, and then the Ferrari joining pretty recently too. So, the McLaren, is it still pretty well driven? It all depends on the balance of performance, I'm guessing, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. If there's a favourable balance of performance, then it's pretty decent. Sorry guys, we're having to update the liveries as we got a couple just wrong. So it has some white cars for the moment, but we'll get them back as soon as we can.
Yeah, it's all about the flavour of the month in iRacing when it comes to the balance of performance. And Tia Fellini, good start to the championship, but he's about to get past here as the Mercedes of Johnny Brandon, who's been on an upward trend so far in this race, tries to get by, but Mattia not going to give up that easily, and he forces the XVR Sim Racing car very, very wide, using all of the runoff area, and comes back on behind the Italian again as Mattia making a bit of a name for himself in this series. It is only his second race meeting of the championship, and he's showing some of these guys what's what here, driving for a pretty well-known team, I'm guessing, in Driving Revolution Sim Racing. Great livery, I must say. With the Italian colours. Hopefully its deliveries have loaded. But yeah, this battle for the final spot on the podium is continuing to hot up as Josh Thompson has been setting purple sectors this lap. He's only half a second away or so now from our leader Nico Foggy.
Like I said, he was very, very quick last night. Got that BMW hooked up, and yeah, there's a few comments on the Facebook group this afternoon said that he was going to be flying, and he showed it right now. He was convinced that the Merc was the better car, but I think there'll be a few people begging to differ right now.
Our sectors are set up into 5, and Josh Thompson's putting purples on sectors 2 and 3. And when he comes over the line, the slide out might be purple. It's 1:42.6, new fastest lap of the race from Josh Thompson. A few personal bests getting put out behind him, but yeah, Thompson slowly getting to within slipstream, and that's what the BMW craves, Alex. It doesn't have the top speed that the Mercedes and the Audis do, or did, the last time we were racing in the series, but with the slipstream, it should really help Josh Thompson as well.
Well, this is the thing, jump on board with him as well. I mean, he might well have, you know, a slightly slower car in a straight line, but once you're tucked up in the draft, he can use all the advantage that the BMW has to offer. So it's good on its brakes, it's got that little bit of extra downforce, and of course the straight line speed deficit is somewhat reduced, so reeling Foggy in, that's one thing. Get him past, well, that's going to be another, is the old adage. But of course, staying in front is going to be another thing as well, because I think Foggy, unlike last night where Thompson's competition out there just couldn't quite keep up with him, I think Foggy will throw a bit of draft Foggy's way as well, and it's all of a sudden going to switch back around, so we could have a heck of a race if oh dear, he just about holds on to that one. I thought that was curtains.
Yeah, I thought it was as well. Lee Deemer has had an issue. He's just jumped back to the pit, so might have to look back at what happened to him there. I did see a lot of stuff kicking off on the.
We can indeed. Let's get that up on replay. Oh wow, yeah.
There was something had already kicked off.
There was a lot going on there, wasn't there?
Now that was, if I can try and decipher from our, might be Stuart McFadden that we might need to take a look back at. Here we go. There's a Mercedes on the outside. Thing going on there. Might have been behind. Unfortunately, it's all runoff area there, so they don't officially go off the circuit, so we don't have a bookmark for them, unfortunately.
Let's see.
Guess it.
John Roberts. It looks like John Roberts got past a lot, so is that
might be Adam Hedgecock, Alex, because he's lost 18 positions. I'm purely guessing here, but we'll try and work out that one.
Let me see if I can just get this one last attempt.
This is John Roberts.
See what happened. Oh, I think I've gone back way too far, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is the boot, potentially on the previous lap.
We won't worry about that too much. We could spend a lot of time wasting trying to find that replay, so sorry about that, guys.
This is why normal broadcast teams have dedicated person trawling through the tapes. But meanwhile, this is Richard Warmingham having to defend from Kieran Roche, and he's going to have to do this all by himself. And here comes the BMW of Richard Warmingham. The BMW actually is car Triple Eight Stephen Baxter, who's pretty much nudging the diffuser of the Mercedes going through the back section of the boot and up to the top section, the heel, I believe, and now on our way towards the penultimate corner. And the BMW trying to make up for lost positions here, and Baxter seemed to stutter a little bit in the early part of the race. As we enter the second half now, we've just got 9.5 minutes to go, and the battle for the lead's back on again.
Yeah, right. 3/10, and this is where Josh said that the BMW was really strong through turn one. Obviously, those medium speed corners can really use that extra downforce. He's got a great run. I don't know if he's going to be quite close enough.
Looking from the rear of Foggy here. See what speed these cars can get up to. Touching 270 as we get on the brakes. Of course, we're not using this chicane here. Thompson was still closing in there, so he must have been able to get by 270 as well in the BMW as we go into the boot section again. Part of this 5.4 kilometre circuit. And CQR Fabrications car looking pretty well here. Thompson won race 2 last week at Circuit of the Americas. Trying to get it done in race 1 here. Of course, for race 2 and race 3, we will have the reverse grid to contend with. As always, that throws up a whole lot of excitement. And they're coming up on some lap traffic as well, Alex, so this could make things even more interesting in this battle for the lead.
Yeah, just what we want to spice it up. Just while that's going on, they're side by side a bit further back. This is Mark Woodhouse and Stephen Burke. Yep, Woodhouse through. So good move for him. Just thought, as I saw them side by side, thought we'd bring him up.
Yeah, they're driving for the Small Time Racing BMW team. His teammate's just up the road. That's Stephen Dawson. Of course, Paul Smith drives for them as well. Paul might have a stream going today. He's down in 38th place. He's lost 6 positions, so something going wrong with the Yorkshireman there. But meanwhile, on to lap 8 of the circuit. We were looking from the rear of Nicole Foggy last lap. We're looking from the front, or from the top, of Josh Thompson's BMW this time. As we go through the S's, you can see how camber of the circuit allows it to be a really enjoyable part of the circuit. If you get the line right, Alex, it's a brilliantly flowing part of the track here as we get down the straight.
Fantastic. We see Josh closing in. Oh, he just needs a lick more speed, doesn't he? You know, a couple of Ks would get him alongside. That Merc is quick in a straight line, and yeah, Foggy able to get absolutely everything he needs to out of that first corner to make it quite a challenge for Josh to get alongside.
It sounded almost like a jet engine when we were getting to the higher echelons of the top speed there down the back straight. 270 Ks. Thompson was a good 5 kilometers an hour quicker than Foggy by the time they got onto the brakes. Now, going through the back section of the boot again, there's a BMW just up in front. That's Stephen Baxter's teammate. Baxter driving for Savage, so that is Adam Hedgecock.
Yeah.
By the process of elimination. He's currently sat in 40th place. They're slowly reeling him in. With 6 minutes to go, with it being just about over a 100-second lap. Oh! That was just looked back from the timing screen and saw Josh Thompson having another dice with death there, going through the final part of the boot layout, and that's given Foggy an extra third of a second as they come onto the front straight, back up to 6/10.
What is going on just a bit further back then? Richard Kafenko is leading that little pack.
A good battle, I think. There's about 1/10 of a second between Blake and Daleman, I think. This is over 13th and 14th as we look back down the front straight.
Baxter and Hackerson exchanging positions as well. Okay, that's just, what we see there.
Different lines being taken there. The Mercedes going way wide and has to use a bit of the grass.
Yeah, and Anwar Smith through as well. And I think if he's not careful, he's going to lose the position to Baxter. Baxter on the outside. It's not always nice going through here too wide. They get very, very close. But Baxter did have the draft, but now he hasn't. So that just might make it a bit of a challenge to hold on to this. Needs to kind of throw it into the carousel to complete the move, and he does. And yeah, Michael Blake, unfortunately, losing 3 or 4 places there.
Pretty brave there by Steve Baxter to get that one done. And if you're wondering why there's no runoff area there, that is because basically you're going over a bridge as you go through that right-hand kink. It's the tunnel turn of the circuit. It's the same with the exit of the boot section. It's where all the paddock trucks and driver equipment gets transported into the pit lane. As we look here at a battle between Matt Bunn and Ronald Moon. It's a good race from Matt Bunn. Alex, 15 positions gained, up to 18th place, and in with a shout if we get a small reverse grid of being up near the front for the second race.
Yeah, in the top 20, highest mover, as far as I can see. Just behind, you've got Nicola that's done 13 spots, so good job too. Yeah, back to 4/10 at the front. Johnny Brandon also quite close. Actually, it's David Baker who's close to Brandon. And then Baker, after that little mistake, you know, he was up and into what, 3rd place, but made that mistake and he just hasn't been able to quite recover since.
Well, this is a cockpit you and me know well.
Yeah, indeed.
From sat in it for 24 hours. The driver in the car will have that TV screen on, and we'll be able to see what's going on behind him. We don't get the beauty of that, but let's see how this Ferrari can close in on the Mercedes. And the answer is not that much, but it does match the speed that Josh Thompson was getting in the slipstream of Nicole Foggy, and that was 275 kph as we go into the boot section again. 3 minutes to go. And the gap is, again, 3 tenths of a second as Baker blows us in a little bit there on Brandon, who's very wide.
Yeah, Brandon just got the line wrong, didn't he? Used a little bit of the grass on the outside there to bail him out. 2 tenths is the gap at the front. It's as close as it's going to be. I think we need to switch our attention to that, unfortunately. Sorry, David.
Try to cover everybody with a 48-car field. It's going to be difficult, and that is not Richard Gafencu in the Ferrari behind that's closing up. That is Pete Newman in the CQRS line car. While we were looking at the Dave Baker battle, they've lapped Edgecock and they've lapped Newman as well. And from what I can see, from now until the end of the race, they're not going to be lapping many others. So it's going to be plain sailing ahead for these two. As they come out of the final corner, it's going to be 2 minutes 45 to go. So this is the penultimate lap of the race, lap 11 here at the Glen on Apex Racing TV for the first corner, using all of that runoff area. You don't get an off track for that because it is officially just tarmac runoff. If you do get clipped that grass there on the exit, which isn't there anymore, but on this version of Watkins Glen it is, then you do pick up an off track. I don't think the drivers are going to be worrying about that. As Thompson, great run on the exit of the S's, Alex. This could be the opportunity.
Yeah, Foggy feels the need to go defensive. Trust me, Nicole, he's done this move around the outside plenty of times. He's going to try it once more, but Nicole drives it in very, very deep, and that's exactly what he needed to do. Good defensive work there.
Thompson's turning it on now.
Sim Racing driver.
He knows that it's go time here in the opening race of the day. You can see with the new graphics on iRacing, you can see the dust and the grass getting kicked up there on the exit of the right-hander. Adds to a bit more drama.
Great addition, I think, actually. That looks really good.
It really does. Got heat haze and whatnot. I don't know if we've got that turned on, but over the top of the hill we go. You can see the black lines of where the drivers slam on the anchors going into the downhill right-hander. And again, Foggy kicking up the dirt. He won the opening race of the day at Circuit of the Americas last week. Thompson backed that up with a win in race 2. So it's the two quickest drivers at the front here. And when we get to the line, we're going to be starting the final lap of the race. Foggy then, car 66, driving for the XVR Sim Racing team, leading the Drivers' Championship, leading the Teams' Championship as well. Oh. Josh Thompson clips that inside curb going through the final corner.
Last thing you want to do, that really is. It absolutely kills your momentum. And look at this now. Gone from 0.3 of a second to half a second. So it's going to have to banzai turn 1 hit to try and close in. It's a great, great corner for Nicole. He actually pulled away slightly, which I really didn't expect to see. And half a second, I don't think there's anything Thompson can do from here.
He's going to have the boot section of his life here, Josh Thompson, but he's still got this back straight to close the gap. It's down to 4 tenths. It's down to 380 hundredths. Now we get on the brakes, and Josh Thompson, you can see, going in there. Gets the gap down to 0.3 of a second. So he closed in a tenth on that back straight, and that might just be the difference if he wants to try a late banzai move to try and win this race as we go into the boot section now. It's going to be an uphill climb to the end of the lap, and then we'll go back downhill. Can tell you that Richard Warmingham's just lost the position to Stuart McFadden, but here come the two leaders with the right-hander, and unless Thompson's going for a very late run, which he might be doing here, Alex, it was a pretty different line to Nicole Foggy, and it might just start to close the gap a bit here. Oh.
I just think you'd have to send one, like proper send one, and yeah, there might be a few words spoken afterwards if it wasn't completely clean, and actually Josh decided not to. He needs the points, remember, he got that DNF, he wants to win, of course, but I don't think he would risk getting disqualified and putting himself in the back foot of this championship so early on with another sort of rash move. And in the end, just can't quite get there. Foggy holds on, great drive, defended perfectly when he needed to, but what an awesome drive from Josh Thompson as well, really showing that he's going to be a force in the next couple of races.
And if you needed any indication of how hard Josh Thompson was pushing, he set a purple sector 2 as he tried to get Nicole Foggy there. Foggy wins. Second, Josh Thompson. Richard Gafencu, a lot of smoke coming from the pit lane there as the cars come to the line. There's a very damaged Mercedes there. There's the McLaren of Hackerson coming across the line. He finished in 14th. That was the Merc of... that was potentially Andy Scheel coming across the line with a very damaged Mercedes front end. Yes, it was. Michael Hall finishing in 26th place. Who else have we got circulating here? We've got a very damaged BMW CQR car. That's Michael Hall coming across the line ahead of Stuart Atkinson in the boosted car. Robert Lundgren wasn't too far behind. There was John Roberts, who we were looking at earlier, coming across the line. He's just going to finish behind Paul Smith in 31st. You get the reverse grid. I wonder if those two could be in with a shout at the front row. Look at this, going for the final corner. This is Luke Clark versus Keever.
Yeah, they stayed pretty much as they were. Who was that behind them as well? Josh Rayfield, I think. Was indeed.
Yep. And there is still someone circulating. We haven't got the official finished thing of the screen yet. This is Nate Simpson. He's a lap behind. He's in 39th place. Car 4 with the red number box, which indicates a AM. Comes across the line and finishes in 39th position. That is everybody. Amazing, Alex, how that whole final lap for Josh Thompson was hindered by just him clipping that inside curb going through the final corner, really.
Yeah, it made a huge difference, didn't it? So, just, you know, he was in range. A little clip cost him 0.2 of a second, and that was it. So.
Right then, we will run you through the finishing order, and then when we get before we go, I might see if I can go on master and see if I can trawl through and find that crash again before we go to a break. But anyway, Nicole Foggy wins the opening race. 2 race 1 victories in a row for the XVR sim racing driver. Josh Thompson finishing in 2nd, Richard Gafencu 3rd, Mattia Fulini finishing in 4th. An expert in these cars, it looks like, him with an I rating that high. No wonder. Johnny Brandon in 5th. He was battling with the Italian throughout the entire race. And then Dave Baker, where else would he finish? He finished in 6th. Christian Rose, his teammate, 7th. The 2 Ferraris not really gaining many positions in the opening race of the day. In fact, Baker lost places, all because of that mistake. Chris Wood in 8th. Stuart McFadden 9th, gaining positions towards the end of the race in the CQR S-Line car. And then Richard Warmingham dropping down a place on the last lap to 10th, the XVR green car. Kira Roche in 11th, Anwar Smith 12th, Steve Baxter in 13th place. 14th for Ben Hackerson, then Bart Daleman. And Andy Scheel 16th, then Michael Blake, Matt Bunn, Ronald Moons, then 20th, Nicolo Kumo. Then Michael Evdoga, David White, Simon Fields, Mark Woodhouse, Stephen Dawson, Michael Hall, Stuart Atkinson in 27th. Gain of 15 places. Their joint biggest mover, along with Matt Bunn in 18th. Then Robert Lundgren, 28th, then Simon Underhill, 29th, Steve Burke, 30th. Paul Smith, 31st, then John Roberts in 32nd. He gained 13 places. Then Jason Rowe, Luke Clark, Matt Keeber in 35th. Then Josh Rayfield, 36th. And then the cars that were 1 lap down or more. We've got the likes of Pete Newman, Adam Hedgecock, Nate Simpson, Jack Stiles, Mick Barry, Miguel Freitas. Then Dion Phillips, Lee Deemer, Carl Hardy, Chaz Draycott in issues early on. He might have been one of the cars that we saw involved in that big crash. and Gavin Wakefield and Lee Woodburn didn't take the start.
Well, good race. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Yeah, let's see if you can find that one and send me it. We'll look at that back just while that's on there. Just a reminder to everybody, hit that like button. Let's feel the love. That was a great race. And yeah, looking forward to seeing what the second one is. And of course, those that are watching on Facebook as well. Or those that aren't watching on Facebook. Come and send some love over there as well. We need all the help we can get here. It's me like begging.
I've completely forgotten who was involved in the crash, so that doesn't help. There was a crash though at the boot section.
John Roberts, wasn't it? I think he was definitely involved in it.
I'm just trying to remember who jumped back to the pits, because that was a
Lee Deemer.
That was Lee Deemer to the pits. So if I find him, then we could find him. Yes, right. Let me see if this is it. Stephen Baxter did have a spin early on, by the way. Right. Oh, I can hear the contact going up on in front. See. Oh, right. It's Miguel Freitas, and it's a biggie. Right.
If you can get that, I'll tell you what. While you're finding that, let me do the wheel, and they can get the grid ready, and then hopefully we can show you this replay. Right. Doing a spin. Could be a small one. That's good for Foggy and Thompson. And it is a small one. 16th place. So 16th will be Andy Shield. Yeah. Second place on the grid, Bart Daleman. Ben Hackerson in that McLaren as well. Then it's Stephen Baxter, Anwar Smith, Kieran Roach, and Richard Warmingham. So, yeah, should be a good one. Right. The admins get that sorted out, and we will hopefully try and find.
I'm just trying to find it. It's I'm trying to find the event. I've found the crash myself through rewinding and pausing and whatnot. What
I don't think you can find. You should be able to just press the record event, and actually it should send it to me, I think.
Okay. Well, I've got find it. Right, if I send this event to you here, Alex, then if you move up 1 or 2 cars, if it's possible, then to Freitas, then hang on, no, I've got it. I've got the event. Sending this one over to you now. There you go.
Robert Lundgren, let's come up as. All right. Let's just see how this one pans out then.
Oh no, this might have happened too. This might have happened before it as well.
Well, it looks pretty tasty ahead of him. Let's see what goes on. Oh, I think you're right. I think it has happened. It has. Miguel Freitas. Right, let me do that and we'll switch to Miguel. Right, here we go then. So what exactly happened? Was just Miguel the innocent victim? Because he looks like he was quite a way out of it going in. Are they going to get together? But you know what? He just lost on his own, didn't he? And then, unfortunately, slid right onto the racing line. Couple of cars in. Smash. 1, 2, 3, 4. All gone.
And a few other cars that were further down the order got involved in all of that as well. So that is what happened then. Glad we were able to clear that up, and it's had possible ramifications for the rest of the evening for some. But we're going to take a break here on Apex Racing TV. Going to get set for a second race today. Very exciting open race, and we've got a equally exciting reverse grid to match. Another 20-minute race coming up after the break. Make sure you stay with us. We're back here at the Glen for the second race of the day here in the World GT Championship. Cars starting to grid up after a very entertaining first race. Look at all those supporters and fans in the grandstand there as we get set to go.
Whenever we seem to go to North America, Adam, you know, we commentate on these races, there's fans in their thousands. I love this sim racing.
Yeah. There you go. That's where the real fans are. The sim racing lot. We will run you through the grid in a moment. First of all, did you see the Grand Prix on Sunday?
Yeah, I fell asleep to the Grand Prix on Sunday. That's kind of what I thought.
All you need to know. It's probably because they had the whole race works of excitement in the first lap, and then that was it. And we'll leave it there, I think, just in case people haven't seen it yet. As the field starts to roll away, we can run you through the starting grid as well as our helicopter.
Spoilers at this point, though, on the Monday. I got no idea.
I mean, with the world of the internet, you need to do what I'm doing this week and moving into a house with no electricity and no internet. That would be the best way to avoid the motorsport results, I think.
Still see it on my phone as some stupid pop-up or something.
Got a
my Facebook Messenger.
Yeah. Yeah, there's also a certain football tournament on, which I think has caused quite a bit of drama today, so I'm looking forward to watching the highlights for that back. In between this and our Ritmatech Sports Car Series race that's coming up later on. Only a 60-minute race as well tonight, so worth staying up for. Yes, that includes the commentators.
You're right, it does, Adam.
Dear me, I would blame the Xbox controller, but for dying, which led to me falling asleep 2 weeks ago. But that's useless, isn't it? So running through the grid, Andy Shield has got the reverse grid to thank for him being on the pole. He starts on the front row with Bart Dellman, then it's Ben Hackerson, then Stephen Baxter, Car 8 and then Car AAA. Anwar Smith, then Kira Roche, Richard Warmingham, Stuart McFadden, Chris Wood in a Team Mad car, and Christian Rose in 10th. Then Dave Baker in 11th. Shows the reverse grid wasn't too big because Baker's back near the top 10 again. Then Johnny Brandon, Mattia Fellini, Richard Gafenku, Josh Thompson, and our race one winner, Nicole Foggy. Then Michael Blake. Then it's Matt Bunn, Ronald Moons, Nicolo Cumo. Then it's Michael Evdoka, Dave White, Simon Field, Mark Woodhouse, Stephen Dawson, Michael Hall, Stuart Atkinson, and it's Robert Lundgren. And it's supposed to be Simon Underhill, but it looks like he started from the pit lane on this one. Then Steve Burke, then Paul Smith, John Roberts, Jason Rowe, Luke Clark, Matt Keever, Josh Rayfield, Pete Newman, didn't have the best of opening races. Then Adam Hedgecock, Nate Simpson, Jack Stiles, Mick Barry, and the rest of the grid made up of Freitas. The cars are involved in big crashes in the opening race, basically. Phillips, Deemer, Hardy, Gregory, Draycott, Woodburn, and Scott Malcolm. Of course, Chaz Draycott should be back in the commentary box with us tomorrow night for the Glen. For the MX-5.
Is he not away this week? I can't remember. Is it this week or no? It might be next week. He's away. Actually thinking about it. So, but yeah, Chaz will be back.
Looking at the trees and the surrounding area of the Glen here. Amazing how much so many fans can flock to the circuit, but not too many cars in the car parking spaces. Maybe they've had the same issues as what Paul Ricard had this weekend.
Possibly. Oh, can I just butt in very quickly again before the start? And I put some job vacancies up on Apex Racing TV's website as well. So if you're interested in helping us out, it doesn't necessarily mean commentating or streaming. There's a stream admin and a social media admin person as well, which we're looking to get a couple of people in. Well, to you, Adam, because they're already away.
Yeah, safety car's only just coming in now, so Andy Shield timed it just about right. It's a BMW, it's a Mercedes and a McLaren leading us across the front straight. We definitely don't see that enough, and race 2 of the day in the World GT Championship's underway. But here comes a BMW, that's Baxter up the inside, being very forceful there on Ben Hackerson, but it's Baxter that's up to second, and there's a car off at the back. That's a Racehub CQR car, it's Dave Baker. Second in the championship, was doing well in the championship going into this race meeting, and things have taken another turn for the worse. Doesn't look like too much damage though, and I wonder what happened to send the former BSRTC champion around.
Well, we should just literally stay glued to his car all race now, shouldn't he? If he's going to make it up to 6th place by the end of this one, he's got to do 40 cars.
Car number 6, He's started in 11th. He's now down to God knows where as we go into the carousel for the first time. Looking at John Roberts, who was involved in action earlier on. There is a BMW going very, very wide. That is Robert Lundgren in the Savage with boosted.
Oh, a bit of contact as with the Vector Audi there as well. That was Stephen Burke. Richard Kafenku, I can hear. Oh dear.
Well, when you're out there, there's only one way you go place you go in, that's into the wall, and that was Nicolo Cuomo, and cars fanning out everywhere as we go down the back straight, and that's one of the Ferraris, and that's a Mercedes. That's Richard Warmingham going at it with the Team Mad car. Chris Wood has got too wide in quite a few places going up to the top of the hill.
Yeah, good battle between those guys, and still very close at the front. The Savage with boosted car has closed up, so Baxter does a good lap, closes in on the back of the CQRM Fabrications Mercedes. And yeah, this one looks like this is going to be a thrilling one as well. So it was pretty close in that mid-pack, so I didn't expect people to sort of scamper away. But a good opening lap. Oh, what's going on back there? Is that Johnny Brandon having a little look on Bart Daleman into turn 1 as well? A few positions changes going on. I dare say we might miss 1 or 2 in this race.
Well, yeah, there's been a lot of movement in the midfield, I should say. Quite a lot of positions gained, in fact. So, yeah, but here comes the Team Mad car to the inside. Then as we go down the back straight, you can see a Youth Energy car further up the field, cutting to the outside. And the Team Mad Beamer could potentially be hung out to dry here as Bart Dellman tries to get the move done around the outside in the car number 2.
I think it's the other way around, actually. I think it's more Daleman under the pressure, to be honest. And yeah, Wood trying to get it done. Of course, they've got Thompson tucked up behind them as well now. He'll not want to wait too long while these guys go side by side.
They've been at it now for a good part of half a lap. Oh, nearly touching. Here comes the BMW. Two BMWs fighting against the Mercedes here. They're ganging up on the Mercedes-Benz manufacturer.
Oh, Josh on the inside, just sideways. You can just see the rubber that he had to lay down there. They're 3 wide. Thompson has to jink to the right to give enough room. And Wood couldn't quite hold it on the inside, so Daleman back through. Great battle, but look at how much of a cluster that is just behind there now.
I don't think the Battle graphic can put all of them in.
No, failed miserably.
That's Fellini. As up the inside goes the Mercedes there of Michael Evdoka, a privateer supposedly, and he's just got past the Driving Revolution Sim Racing Mercedes into 15th place. He's cracked the top 15 now, 6 positions gained as the Ferrari there is under pressure from Richard Gafenku going through the first corner. That is Matt Bunn. Did pretty good in the first race to gain 15 places and scampering all over the circuit to try and Gafenku nearly loses the front going up the hill. Oh, there's a Mercedes, there's a car going very wide in the background.
Oh, that's not good. Foggy's involved in that. He's pushing it. They're all checking up. This is going to be nasty.
Oh, cars everywhere. Now, they might throw a safety car, don't know. That's Mattia Fellini. We saw him earlier.
He's had no luck in this series so far, joining, I tell you. So, good job there's no safety rating or I rating up for grabs. That poor World Championship licence will be taking a pounding right now.
Poor Nicole Foggy, championship leader.
Yeah,
a lot of damage.
damage.
That's not going to be repaired for race 2. It'll be back out for race 3, but he needs to make sure that he stays 1 lap down or so, otherwise it could be right at the back. Here's a replay. This is Stephen Baxter we're looking at here, taking the lead away from Andy Shield.
How does he do it? Gets a good run on the back straight. Is he going to do... this was all while that carnage was going on behind, wasn't it? So... around the outside, I feel, in the carousel.
You can just see it all kicking off.
Good move, sweeps right round there. Andy tries to hold on, but of course Baxter has the inside for the shoot. And yeah, solid move. Great work there. Knew what he needed to do. So who did we lose, Adam, in that one? Any ideas?
Let me have a look for you. Cars that have towed back to the pits. We've got Dawson gone, Fellini gone, Moon's gone, and Field gone. So,
well, that could have been worse, I have to say. Could have been a lot worse. I think there's probably a lot of damaged cars out there as well, but yeah, I think we could. I was expecting to see good 15 gone there.
Are we back to live?
We are.
Yeah, we are. Yeah. So here, looking here at the McLaren. This is that's Ben Hackerson. He sits in third. Then behind him it's Stuart McFadden, who gained the position very late on to get into the top 10 in race 2. Then in race 1. Then it's Anwar Smith behind in the Youth Energy car. Anwar Smith did very well. Very close to winning the championship last season, and you can see he's flashing the lights. CQR S-Line Ferrari, who is the highest Ferrari in the field so far. We haven't seen him crack the podium yet. McFadden is trying to change that now as he hunts down the McLaren. Shades of Formula 1 battles of the late noughties. Definitely won't get that now as the Ferrari struggles for grip on the exit of the uphill right-hander.
Yeah, that McLaren isn't hunting down anything, is it?
It's hunting down a... Yeah, it's hunting
we
down
have the best chassis all these last 2 years. We have the best chassis just the end. Yeah, all right then. Pull the other one.
Chatting a whole load of baloney, basically. That's my opinion anyway.
Yep, no, I agree. Really. Baxter pulling away a little bit at the front.
And I'm sure they're hoping that, as the BMW nearly loses it in the background, I'm sure they're hoping that Red Bull's Honda project is a disaster, otherwise it'll look even more farcical for McLaren as Matt Bunn goes for a move into the final corner. Not totally advisable.
Yeah, pretty unheard of, to be honest.
Oh, there's a CQR AM car up the road. That's Josh Thompson and Brandon that look like they were going at it. As up the inside goes Bunn again into the first corner. Or should that be Evdoka trying to get the move done around the outside of the Ferrari, using his own bit of track as well? Oh! He was heavily on the wheel there. See the car understeering quite a bit there as the side-by-side action further upfield, I think, is Evdoka. Now on the inside, going into the carousel, is trying to keep the Ferrari, or trying to get past the Ferrari. And he's going for it up the inside. Car 985, 989 I should say. And Evdoka's through.
Yeah, good move. What's going on in this front pack as well? Because it just doesn't seem to be getting any thinner out the front there. Just relentless.
It's definitely helped Andy Scheel in the last lap or so. I wonder if Andy Scheel's been off the circuit. Steve Baxter's now got a 1.9 second lead. As we look back from him, you can see there's a Ferrari in there trying to get by. That's Christian Rose going at it, and he's done it on Kieran Roche. He's just behind that Youth Energy Merc that we can see there from the back of Andy Scheel's Mercedes. CQR Fabrications running multiple cars. And looking at Anwar Smith, you can see behind him the CQR Racehub car of Rose, who got by. Josh Thompson also has got by Kieran Roche, I think, so he's lost 2 positions on that lap, and it could be about to be a third as Johnny Brandon lines up the the Simmortal Drive Doctor car. He's got their big wheel spin coming up later, the pink rims as well on the Simmortal car. He has to tell that car quite a mile off as they come up through the hill again, as we're just approaching the halfway mark of this race.
Yeah, good race so far. Ticked by in no time. Of course, lost Foggy, which was quite important, but Thompson working his way through. Took me a little time. He's up 8 spots. Who else? Who's the bigger movers out there? Michael Hall up 10. Luke Clark up 16. Pete Newman behind him up 17 spots as well.
Gregory's gained 22 up to 24th.
As well, 17. Yeah, 22 for Ben Gregory, who is there's a battle just ahead of him actually. Right now, that was between, that was Woodhouse and Newman.
Oh yeah,
we had
there was Simpson and Baker behind, wasn't there? So, I think.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. And then, oh, you're right. Yep. And then, who else have we had as well? So 19 spots for Lee Deemer. That's pretty impressive. But Baker up the inside into the toe.
And that's the outside working perfectly there. You get the initial gain on the inside, but it's almost like a 400-meter running race. The person on the outside then gets that late surge.
Just carries the extra momentum off the corner. Makes such a difference.
Don't know if I could do a 400-meter race right now. I could do back in the day. Going into... Gosh.
I could do a 400-meter race. It wouldn't be very quick, but I could do one.
There you go, the Apex Racing
McDonald's at the end, it'd be super fast.
I don't know who'd be winning that one. Probably one of our sim racers will probably get the better of us there, I think. And so we go up the hill. There's some wheel-to-wheel action just up the road there. That's Daleman dicing at the wall, and he maybe brushed it there going through the exit.
Oh, who was that? That's Warmingham trying to go around the outside of Richard Gafencu there. That door got shut firmly on his face there, didn't it?
He's not mad. I think he's just trying to create his own bit of circuit here. And around the outside goes the Mercedes on Bart Delman. This should be the move up the inside unless Delman's super late on the brakes. They're still at it here.
Yeah, good line. And that's that camber again that comes into play through the chute. Allows you to hold that little bit of extra speed around the outside. Oh, too wide for Warmingham.
Yeah, there's wide, and then you're in New England potentially.
Got a good run off though.
Yeah, he has. Looking at the inside, going into the right-hander. It's all going to be about the braking again, but for now, Warmingham decides to stay behind. Has lost 6 positions since the start of the race with Warmingham. Things haven't gone totally according to plan. And there's, it looked like there was something going on at the front, but I think it was just Steve Baxter lapping cars. Looks like it anyway. But this battle for third place continues. It's Stuart McFadden, who we're looking at here, car 53. The young Scotsman, riding on board with him, in fact, come out of the final corner. Got the McLaren of Hackerson up in front of him, in third. And behind him it's Anwar Smith, Thompson, Rose and Kieran Roche. And that is Andy Shiel in second place as well, who's dropped back into the clutches of the rest of the podium squabbling pack here as we go up the hill.
Of course, this Ferrari, once it gets going, it is the fastest car out there on a straight line. So, but of course the Macca is no slouch either in a straight line. So Hackerson's probably going to get there just a tiny bit quicker as well. And you can see that actually it doesn't really close up at all down the straight, but does massively on the braking. I know how late Stuart McFadden can brake, that's for sure. Sorry, Stuart.
Well, that's the second Apex Racing TV commentator to call out Stuart McFadden. Yours is a bit more politer than the other person. Last time Alex Simpson was racing with him, something did happen at Le Mans in the BSRTC, but here he is, sat in fourth. He's currently having to feel the heat of the McLaren flames. It's probably a similar temperature to the temperatures we've been experiencing today in the UK. It's been almost verging on being unbearably hot, and I think it's going to get even worse as the weekend goes on. But enough of that. Up to the top of the hill, and Thompson is now in with a shout as well as he chases the Youth Energy car Smith down. So everything is still up for grabs, with quite a few drivers starting to arrive on the scene. The likes of Thompson, Brandon and Smith as well, all up there. They could spring an attack in the final 5 minutes.
See, I feel like this is probably the worst thing Thompson needs, the big gaggle. Just because it's hard to get a run on the cars ahead because they've all got that kind of same good move into turn one. Well, there you go. That's how you do it. Use the advantage of the BM with its braking, and you've still got the slipstream of the Ferrari ahead. But will Anwar Smith be able to fight back? He's not shy on putting a move on. So I think if he gets a run here on the BMW, he'll do it.
Well, this could be a good opportunity to see if the BMW is still weak when it hasn't got a slipstream partner. Here comes the Mercedes, here comes the Ferrari as well on the McLaren down the back straight. It's all kicking off now with just a few minutes to go and a few laps to go.
Rose trying to go around the outside, that's good. But good from Thompson, defended the line well.
He's there, Anwar, please be careful. And he's,
a bit too deep.
Oh, someone's spun in the background, I think. Or potentially, they nearly did. It was the Simmortal car of Kieran Roche. Just caught that out, corner of my eye as I went through the left-hander. And Thompson, within a few corners, is now closed up onto McFadden, who's now trying to really apply the pressure on the boosted car going into the right-hander here. trying to get the cut back. Nearly made it work. This is where we had that huge crash where Alex Simpson went through Dave Christie's car in the PSR TC.
A boss. That's how you do it.
There you go. Turn the latency up and unleash it, basically.
Lag switch.
Oh, I thought Hackerson was going there. The lag switch, I should say, is not a thing before we get sued. But we're not on iRacing Live tonight, so it could be a thing, potentially. Now the final corner, onto lap 9 then. We had 12 laps in race 1. We'll see if we get a similar amount this time as Hackerson nearly getting hit there by McFadden, who was all over the place under braking, and so is everybody else as they use that runoff area and that huge curb on the exit of the first corner. Now here comes Thompson. See what he can do. He knows that McFadden will be willing to attack that McLaren in front. And McLaren doesn't look too good when it doesn't have any slipstream. Well, I guess no car would. And there's that opening, but Josh Thompson, who's going for a championship, decides not to go for it. But look at the run he gets. Oh, to me, that's close. And Hackerson really pushing the envelope in terms of having to defend.
One thing about Stuart is he's pretty savvy as well. Oh, wow, just all of a sudden just died. No run. No, Thompson through. Thought for a moment that was a one-way street to the rear end of Hackerson's Macca there. But yeah, I'm guessing Stuart let his CQR teammate through there. And now it's Rose on McFadden as well, through. I don't think he wanted to let him through.
Well, there's 3 CQR teams in the field, CQR S-Line, CQR Racehub and the CQR AM team. And they're all on show there. Look at Thompson straight away onto the back of the McLaren here. We get to the line, there's going to be 2 minutes to go, so we will get 12 laps completed. And Hackerson, no, not Hackerson, it's McFadden, really trying to regain some composure here because he's taking the worst possible lines, but it looks like he's got it all together now, and just at the right time has got some lap traffic to deal with here. That's 44th place, that's the Smile Time Racing car of, that's Stephen Dawson that they're starting up on.
Thompson gets the run. This will be the truth, like I say, a good test because this is, I still say the Macca's one of the fastest on its own. I have to say, Thompson right on the tail already.
Look at the speed he has, but can he do anything with it? Stuart McFadden couldn't. Can Josh Thompson find that final cutting edge to get it done here? And maybe he could get second place as well. He's got his teammate up the road. Into the carousel. Round the outside he goes.
Good from Hackerson. Took enough speed in there. Just drifted out in front of the BMW. Perhaps defended a little bit too aggressively there. Did perhaps a bit of thin air, and that's kind of opened the door. He hasn't got the exit speed that he wants, so Thompson right round the outside. That was a bit of a mistake from Ben's part. He's going to really struggle now. Thompson
just
through
like that.
Quite cleanly. Yeah, good move from Thompson.
Yeah, very good move indeed.
Yeah, will he catch up to his teammate? Will his teammate let him go? We've got a minute to go, so this lap and one more.
The gap is
going on there. This one's very close as well.
Oh yeah, now this is Matt Bunn versus Richard Warmingham and Michael Evdoka. That's Evdoka leading the way as he does a massive tank slapper there coming out of the exit at the bottom of the hill. Up again, understeering very, very wide.
Oh yeah.
And nearly allows the Ferrari in there with a shout. He might even fancy his chances of an ultimate corner. I wouldn't fancy it, and Matt Bunn decides against it as well as, again, Evdoka.
Oh! Jesus, you lucky there. We saw a few cars do that last night and they ended up in the wall, either one. He got away with that.
Well, there's genuinely not much room for manoeuvre around this circuit. You'll notice there's a huge gravel trap there. Unfortunately, that isn't there anymore in the penultimate corner.
Very wide for Evdoka. Oh. He's going to lose less place before he even gets up the top of the hill.
And Bunn nearly lost it, trying to get by him. These cars really not having too much aero underneath them. They're all saving it for the straight line speed. And Evdoka, he fancies his chances on the outside here. And this could quickly get eaten up because here comes Richard Warmingham on the inside. They're somewhere in and amongst all those cars. There they are as they come over the top of the crest. This is the final lap of the race. And it's going to be bun up the inside, but Avdoka, that's brave, and that's off the track.
Too wide, yeah, far too wide. Just a bit too aggressive going in. Didn't get quite the entry that he wanted. Car pushed a bit wide. He's now having to defend from Hall. Right, I think we need to see what's going on up front. Baxter pretty much in the clear. He's got back marker behind him. Thompson has got past his teammate.
Yep. So the Beamer up to second. It's going to be 2 second places in a row for him. And look at Hackerson.
Yeah, right under the cosh. It's Christian Rose tucked up behind him. Hackerson's going to hold on to this fourth.
He may have lost the podium, but it's still a pretty good drive from Hackerson.
Yeah, it was a good drive. I tell you, because the Macca's not a nice car to drive at the minute. But this is the man who really, showed the field what he was made of. Great drive. Just pulled away.
What a great job. Love it when a BMW gets the win, and Stephen Baxter does it.
1-2
Savage boosted. Yeah, 1-2 Beamers. Very delighted Adam Baff here in the commentary box. Look at all these cars coming to the line. It's a CQR AM Fabrications 2-3 as they come across the line. There's another one of the CQR AM Fabrications cars. That was Michael Hall. Looking here at Michael Blake. He's got Luke Clark all over the place there coming out of the final corner. Nicole Foggy's teammates, let's not forget. And he comes across the line for the positions there. Here come the rest of them. There's an Audi. That's a rare sight. That's the Frust Vector car of Chaz Draycott coming across the line. Wonder why there's not too many Audis here today.
Well, I think it's a combination of they've got a bit of weight on in the series, and they've also got a bit of weight from iRacing. So they've just been overly nerfed, I feel like now.
I'm sure the next season it might be back on top again. Never know with these things. Here's Robert Lundgren.
I'd say it just depends which one they need to sell a few more of, you know.
Well, I don't think I have the Audi, so and I definitely won't be getting it if it's that slow. Through the final corner, then comes a very heavily damaged Robert Lundgren. He could get past here by it's not Robert Lundgren, it's Lundgren in the Beamer trying to get by John Roberts, and I think he's done it, you know, as they come to the line potentially. Yes, he did. So 40th for Lundgren, 41st for Roberts, both under the boosted banner, but it's a Savage car getting past the boosted car on the run to the line, and that is it from everybody there. So let's bring up the race results after another brilliant second race. Of course, we've got another reverse grid wheel to go. Then we've got race 3, and then we've got our big prize draw, prize where it lies, for after race 3 to determine who's going to take one of our prizes home. So only for the finishing on then, Stephen Baxter wins. Great job by the Savage with boosted driver. Josh Thompson makes it 2 second places in a row. Good for the championship after a DNF last week. Andy Shield finishing in 3rd, pole sitter. Then Ben Hackerson in 4th for the McLaren. Good job considering he looks like he's the only McLaren driver in the field, and having to hold back some of the quickest drivers in the series as well. Christian Rose in 5th, Stuart McFadden 6th in the end, after allowing Josh Thompson to have a go on the McLaren. Then Anwar Smith, Johnny Brandon, Richard Kafenku and Chris Wood rounding out the top 10. 11th for Kieran Rush, 12th place for Bardelman, then Matt Bunn, Richard Warmingham in 14th place, then Michael Hall gaining 11 places to finish in 15th. Michael Evdoka 16th, David White 17th, Luke Clark 18th, 16 positions gained as well. He's still not the biggest mover in the field, we're getting to them in a moment. There's Michael Blake 19th, 20th for Pete Newman, 21st place for Mark Woodhouse in a Small Time racing car. Good to see one of those cars that high up. A reverse grid might help them out quite a bit actually for the final race. Dave Baker, he was around in the first corner on lap 1, managed to recover to 22nd place, and that is a loss of 11 places there for Baker. 23 positions gained for Gregory, biggest mover in the end, to finish in 23rd place in the Fitstar Motorsports car. His teammate Jack Stiles finished behind him in 24th. Then Lee Diemer 25th. Chaz Draycott, Frust Vector, did a great job of gaining 21 places to finish in 26th. Then it's Adam Hedgecock, Matt Keeber. Then it's Lee Woodburn, Simon Underhill in the Nomad car. Scott Malcolm, Team Mad. Then Carl Hardy in 32nd. Nicolo Kumo. It was a terrible race for the Driving Revolution sim racing team. Kumo down there. Foggy as well. And Jason Rowe, Freitas, Rayfield. Then we've got Paul Smith. Not going too well for him tonight, unfortunately for Paul. Then it's Mick Barry, Robert Lundgren, having a drag race with John Roberts to the line there. Then it's Mattia Fellini, who had a good first race, but then in race 2, he was involved in that melee on the back straight. in the S's. Simon Field next up in 43rd place, and Stephen Dawson, Ronald Moons, Nate Simpson, Dion Phillips, Stuart Atkinson, and Steve Burke ending up finishing at the back. We've somehow managed to add a car in that race. We had 49 cars on track in another enjoyable race of the World GT Championship. And now we've got the reverse grid to look forward to as well for the final race.
Do it. Been 16th, obviously, last time. Where will it end? Anyone want to call it on the chat? I see someone nailed it last time. Absolutely spot on.
Last Thursday in BSRTC, we had 20 and 20. Today we've got in the World GT.
What you reckon, Adam? What are you going for?
I don't know what the numbers are.
Oh, well, minimum number is 14. Maximum number looks like 34.
Okay, I'll go. Is it even numbers that are in there? Or
36. Yeah, all even numbers.
Okay, I'll go for 26 then.
Yeah, okay. Let's give it a spin and we'll see what we get. See how good your roulette game is. Oh, it's coming around. It's coming around. He's only gone and bloody done it.
There you go. Take me into a casino.
Yeah. Come to Vegas with me next time, please.
Yeah, that is 26 then. That is Chaz Draycott starting on the pole position for the final race of the day. There you go, Chaz. Buy me a drink later. Then it's Lee Deemer starting in second. A lot of happy drivers here, actually. Jack Stiles and Ben Gregory for Fitstein Motorsports. Their quick driving's paid off as well. They're going to be starting on the second row. And then it's going to be Dave Baker and Mark Woodhouse starting in 5th and 6th. So while I rub my crystal ball again to see what's going to happen later, we're going to be taking a break and see if it can help get me some money in the World Cup potentially. So we'll be back in a minute here on Apex Racing TV for the final race of the day in the World GT Championship. back again for the final race of the day here in the World GT Championship on Apex Racing TV. Adam Bath and Alex Simpson at it again, and we've got a bit more action to look forward to this week. Tomorrow we've got the BSR MX-5. Don't know where that's at, so you'll have to join us to find out. And then Wednesday we've got the next race meeting in the iRacing Le Mans series. Then I think that might be at COTA. And then,
it is indeed at COTA.
It is indeed at COTA. It's a driver's nightmare.
I'm loving testing for that circuit.
Especially after how the first two race meetings have gone.
I know.
And then you've got...
I don't know if you heard, but I actually went and did the race after the stream race as well. I was leading by about 12 seconds, and then the last place in the LMP2s decided to spin right in front of me as I was lapping him.
I can just imagine what you were saying.
Yeah, it was fun.
and then of course you had the BSR-TC on Thursday, which went okay.
No, that was okay. I didn't mind that. You know, I jested to Stuart. He come in and guys stuff like that. But no, I enjoyed that race. So 3 good races. I think I ended up 6 overall for the night. So I'll take that. And
next week the BSR-TC goes to, or this Thursday goes to oh no, you're talking. I did have to bring out the schedule. So Road Atlanta. It's Road Atlanta this week. So that could be interesting. That one. Not too many places. Not too much in the way of room.
V8s, of course, are back this Saturday as well. V8 supercars. So
yeah. Plus we've got our own coverage of the iRacing World Championship Grand Prix series.
No, that's next week. I got my timings mixed up.
Oh yeah, it's the
VRS thing this weekend. Yeah, which we're covering. VTech, of course, is back on Sunday as well as the BSR Grand Tour and the iRacing Grand Prix series. So a proper packed Sunday, that's for sure.
Well, if I believe if England finish in second, or no, maybe they win their grid, then yeah, they might be playing Sunday afternoon. So don't know if that will help in terms of attendances or not. But we're getting set for the final race here at the Glen. So running through the grid, it is Chaz Draker on the pole after a somewhat fortuitous, well they all are, reverse grid spin. Lee Deemer starting in second, then third on the grid Jack Styles, then his teammate Ben Gregory behind him in fourth. You can just see them there as the helicopter flies over going into the first corner. Then it's Ben Gregory, we already mentioned him, there's Dave Baker in fifth, Mark Woodhouse in sixth, seventh Pete Newman, eighth Michael Blake, ninth Luke Clark and 10th David White. Then Michael Evdoka in 11th, Michael Hall 12th, Richard Warmingham 13th, 14th Matt Bunn, 15th Bart Dowman, 16th Kieran Roche. Then it's Chris Wood, and it's supposed to be Richard Gafenku, but I believe he started pit lane. Then it's Johnny Brandon in 19th, 20th for Anwar Smith, Stuart McFadden 21st, then 22nd for Christian Rose, then Ben Hackerson in his McLaren, then Andy Shield, Josh Thompson, runner-up twice today, and then Steve Baxter, our Race 2 winner. Then Adam Hedgecock, Matt Keeber, Lee Woodburn, Simon Underhill, Scott Malcolm there in the Team Mad car, Carl Hardy in 32nd, Nicolo Cuomo in 33rd. Then it's Nicole Foggy, championship leader going into this race meeting, starting in 34th. Then Jason Rowe, Miguel Freitas, Josh Rayfield, Paul Smith, Mick Barry, then John Roberts, Mattia Frulini in 41st. Then 42nd, Simon Fields, then Stephen Dawson, Ronald Moons, Nate Simpson, Dion Phillips in 46th, 47th for Stuart Atkinson, and then starting at the back of the grid, it's Steve Burke, and then on the back row, all by himself, it's Pete Harrod. Haven't seen much of him at all today. He might be a late addition. One person that we have lost is Robert Lundgren, I think. I think he's done for the night. So if we've lost one car and gained another, thinking Pete Harrod.
Issue with his eyes, he was saying, so I had that earlier on, just couldn't keep them open, just like I couldn't for the Grand Prix on Sunday.
Took me 3 attempts to watch one film the other night, kept falling asleep. I had to watch over 3 separate nights to get it all in. Yeah, that's just another tale in my life, really. Formation lap then. Good to see an Audi on pole, Alex. It could be a good opportunity for the Thrust Vector team to potentially get a win here, and we'll see what the Audi's like at the front.
That's it. Screenshot it now, I reckon. It's not going to last.
Well, yeah, if you are watching, press print screen now, or if you're on an Apple or whatever, it's I think it's Command-Shift-4 on that one. Yeah, because I don't think we're going to be seeing that too much, but you never know. Chaz Draycott could have the race of his life, and after being very lucky with the reverse grid, after I picked his number out, what is going on there with that Mercedes going through the right-hander, really going off into the wall? Best have done it. I remember DC doing that on a warm-up lap at Monza back in '95. Don't remember watching it because I don't think I was around then, but I remember seeing it on a review. But anyway, going into the final corner, it's going to be Chaz Draycott leading us to the green flag here with Lee Diemer in second. He's taking his time as well. He's not going yet. Now he is. Green flag in the air, and he's bunched the field up, and we're green here. 3 wide down the front straight. Chaz Draycott's leaving them here going into the first corner. Oh, it's the Fitztime Motorsports cars. They're assaulting.
Oh, Chaz has jostled it straight away in turn 1. Actually got collected and it pushed him back straight. So he's got away with that. It could have been a lot worse. Just hope he hasn't got too much damage.
Oh, what a nightmare. I thought it was just going to be the... Oh, and I think he's got front right damage because he's just literally riding the outside wall as we go up the hill. That's nearly disaster.
Oh,
it is.
Oh, that's gonna be bad.
Take it away, guys. There we go. Oh my word! Now this should be a safety car.
Jeez, look at them.
They are slowing down. Oh, back across the track again.
Oh, it's more.
Oh no! And it begins again.
Oh God!
And that is the end of Chaz Draycott.
I mean, that is just Watkins Glen for you all over. I mean, there'll be a lot of people that will rage on the Facebook group, and I implore you guys, don't, because it's not. Oh no, there's someone else that was probably driving. Oh dear!
That's Dave Baker again. In there, I could see the number 6, and is that a Fitztime Motorsports car as well? Might have been. There's a team, definitely a Team Maz car, and there's 2 of the CQR.
Couple of CQR cars. Yeah.
That's if I scroll down the time screen. Oh, and again, that's car
CQR.
That's even white. That's CQR S line this time, and he's in the middle of the track. Please, David, get over to the side. Gets going again, and what a chaotic first lap this is. This mirrors Paul Ricard, I think, from Sunday. Hopefully it doesn't end here as they come across the line to complete the opening lap. It's Ben Gregory that leads then for Fitztime Motorsport. Then it's we've lost the other one, don't know where it is. It's Lee Diemer in second for Simmortal. Then it's his teammates driving for the drive. Oh, there's another one.
What is going on?
Well, there's a car there's a boosted. That's a 26. That is Simon Field, who's at the race meeting from hell, really. And then it's Lee Woodburn, I think. Here we go. This is looking back from Dion Phillips going for the final corner. Oh, there's a Simmortal car that's started proceedings, and there goes our gopher cam. Oh, and then another car gets spun around as well. That was Hackerson getting into the back of the Mercedes of RIP Joe on the back.
I'm afraid I cannot defend it anymore. I was going to say, oh, it's just a track, and for the first one down that back straight, it absolutely was, and I really didn't want the guys just to go mad at each other there, because there's just nowhere for anyone to go. You can't see, you can't check up, cars get bounced back onto the circuit. But crash number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, yeah, were I'm afraid all driver related.
Stephen Baxter, I think, has gone for a spin. Potentially, yeah, there he is. Yeah, I could see the smoke while you were speaking. Oh, and again, that's a Ferrari. That was Jason Rowe, potentially, or maybe even Lee Woodburn. Here's a replay.
I need to go back a bit further, actually.
Oh, it's it's another CQR.
See, I mean, that's nothing but driver.
Oh,
you know?
And I think Baxter agrees with me there.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think he did. So. Of course, he can't go anywhere, you know. He just, I mean, he moved a half a metre, but it wouldn't have mattered. You know, he's just trying to get out of the way, you know. And unfortunately for Baxter, the only thing he could have done there was escape, you know. Yeah. That's the only way he wasn't going to get hit there.
Because that boot section of the circuit is literally, it's equivalent of a street circuit, really. There's just Armco everywhere, not too much in the way of runoff, apart from at the bottom of the hill. There's a gravel trap there, and yeah, right then, let's take stock then on lap 3 of the race. It's Ben Gregory leading by 2.5 seconds. Then it's Lee Dima in second place now. Then it's Evdoka in third and Blake down in fourth. Then it's Pete Newman in fifth. Sixth is Michael Hall. Then it's Luke Clark, Mark Woodhouse, Richard Warmingham, and Johnny Brandon, who are the biggest gainers out of all of this. As we see Dima go through the right-hander and over the tyre marks that were left by the race 2 winner Baxter. Biggest movers, we've got Paul Smith, Alex. He's up 22 places. I bet his live stream would have been good to have watched.
I watched that from on board, so see how he goes through. I don't think he got through it completely clean. I think I can see a little bit of damage on the rear left, so, but for the most part, I went under a little bit of pressure from Mattia behind, who managed to get through as well. So that 4.99 safety rating shows that he knows how to jump. Honestly, I thought he was collected in it. I could see it must have been his teammate that got absolutely destroyed. So, yeah. You know what it's like when you get new teams and new people into the series. You just wish them all the best. You're like, please don't get involved in something. We don't want them to run away after 2 weeks.
Didn't stop Ray Alfala. I remember him staying around quite a while in the BSRTC.
Yeah. And we've seen worse at this circuit.
Oh yeah, we definitely have.
So.
Throwback to when the Kia Optima had literally no crash physics. We had cars literally just taking off at the slightest bit of contacts here. Here comes Paul Smith though. Oh, look at this. We've got Mercedes versus Mercedes. This is Evdoka trying to get by Blake. This is for a spot on the podium taking place here. Oh, careful. Just about made space there of Dima. Sorry, this is about for second, isn't it? Yeah, just about made space there, Lee Dima. And he's still... Oh! Boy, he was going to the tyre barrier then. Some good car control by the guys today out on the track. But that is Evdoka back into second place.
Just having a look at some key people we lost in that crash. So we lost Thompson. Yeah, Matt Bunn gone as well. Obviously, Chaz we know about. Mick Barry. Who else? We lose Foggy? No, Foggy's still out there. He's up 21 spots as well.
Yeah. He's up to 13th. There he is.
Right.
He's battling in this group with Bart Delman, I think.
So that's the thing with these reverse grid races. You just can't anticipate something like what we've seen just there in that first and that opening lap where it just all goes to shit. I think it's the only way you can describe it.
It is 10 o'clock, so...
we're past the watershed, it's okay. But, you know, you just got to try and get through those and just survive those opening laps, you know? So, once the race gets going... Oh, a little bump from Bart Daleman on Christian Rose. Rose very wide, he's going to lose a couple of places. Oh, he didn't actually.
This is a pretty good camera to watch from, actually, as they go through the S's. But, yeah, I don't remember signing anything with Ofcom, Alex, so I think we're fine on that. But here comes...
Yeah, this is true. It's our own channel, isn't it? I think YouTube allows it, so...
Oh, you can see there's another battle going on front too as we go into the right-hander. That was the XVR cars going at it. We've got XVR Sim Racing and XVR Green all involved there. Plus we've got another one in this battle between Delman and... oh, no, that's a Simmortal, isn't it? Oh, no, it is an XVR. That's Foggy, isn't it? Trying to get by the Ferrari of Rose.
Yeah, and the head looks mighty tasty now as well. That's Clark with his teammate Warmingham, isn't it? And just behind them, Mark Woodhouse and Smile Time Racing BMW.
Now watch the run that the Mercedes of Clark's going to get. Looking to the inside, can't get anything done, but he did take an insanely wide line, and that's not going to go too well, is it? Here comes Mark Woodhouse. Smile Time team have got cars inside the top 20. They've got Woodhouse in 10th and Smith in 17th. And they've just got Stephen Dawson inside the top 20 as well. So things are looking well for the Smile Time BMW team. We're just approaching the halfway mark of this race as XVR. They're leading the team's championship. And they've got quite a few cars running up inside the top 10. Up inside the top 10 here. Ever feel like fielding an Apex team in this series, Alex?
I'd love to, but we just don't have any interest in our team in the GTs, really.
It's all about the P1s.
Not even really about the LMP1s. I mean, there's only a couple of us doing that. It's just all about the F1 car.
makes sense, I guess. Do have a Formula E car, I think, on iRacing. That'd be really good. Please, iRacing.
I mean, I would be all over like the Formula 3.5. That is what I really wanted. I want to get away. I don't enjoy driving these energy. Oh well, that's Rose.
Well, Rose didn't enjoy that. He's off into the wall and now surely be damaged. Usually, if you hit the tyre barrier, it's not as bad as hitting the arm coat, but I think that's going to be curtains there for the Ferrari, and what basically puts the icing on a pretty disastrous race 3 for the CQR Racehub team. We had Bunn off, we had Baker off, and we got Christian Rose off. I think that is pretty much all the CQR Racehub cars gone, in fact, so not good. Look at this though. This is Woodhouse now trying to get the attack on the XVR car, and that is a brilliant move around the outside, and that's Woodhouse up into 9th.
Yeah, great move. But this is why I love the old Williams so much, because there's no energy faffing. But I love high downforce cars. This is why I don't drive the GTs, because, you know, they're pant. When it comes to downforce.
You're really closing yourself off here. I think the Formula 3.5 is what you're crying out for, I think.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever going to happen. So bring back the Williams as the main Grand Prix Series car. I'm there.
Remember when we started when we did the road? Oh, look at this!
The two teammates side by side.
Got to be a bit careful there. In real life, they've pushed those Armco barriers a bit further back, so you can run potentially too wide there. But here on iRacing, it definitely isn't that wide. And here comes Bart Daleman. Got the inside. He is there, so it is a bit too late to move over, I think. And BMW hoping that none of this involves him going into this right-hander. Good job there by Clark to get involved and stop Bart Daleman from getting by, and now Nicole Foggy starts to turn his attention to the BMW in front. Oh, he's all over him. Got a feel for Mark Woodhouse here, but it might just be a matter of time. He's defending the inside line though, so he's not willing to give up this position without a fight, and you have to make Foggy work for it, and I think he might just get done here, you know. That's absolutely brilliant from Foggy, but the BMW is still there. Now he isn't. Great move. Foggy up into 9th place, 25 positions gained. Chip leader on a charge here after a win in race 1, DNF in, well, a terrible race 2 where he was involved in a huge crash in the S's, and
he didn't score any points. Yeah, that's the key thing.
That's usually the plan you set out with, Alex, isn't it? Race 1 and make race 1 and race 3 the important ones in getting the points on the board.
I think so, and then really race 2 is just all about making sure you finish and get a good clutch of points and see what happens. You know, you can try and get yourself in a reasonable grid position by you know, holding back if you want and trying to guess where the wheel's going to be, or you can just kind of go for it. So it's the important thing, I think, in these reverse grid races is to finish that second race. That's the key one, you know. Yeah. Or if anything's going to happen.
Is that what's been the problem for Apex in BSRTC this year, or there's been, to be fair, a whole load of other technical issues, like poor Wojciech's internet, for one, as this great battle unfolds between Dima and Car 12. That's Michael Hall. This is over a spot in the top 4.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't want to get too distracted with it, but I think we had a lot of late-minute changes, so a lot of people coming in, and yeah, just sort of threw us out a little bit. Katz has not been happy in the car at all, so he's had less than full effort onto it, and yeah, reserves coming in there as well, which, you know, they've done a great job, Stillian and Jamie. For the team, it just doesn't help us sort of click together and try and move forward. We keep getting these issues, so I think we've sort of set our sights on just make sure we get into the gotta leave the room. Gotta leave the room.
It's a carry-on film. Oh, and now look at this. This is the XVR car at the inside. It's this car 7. That is Johnny Brandon arriving on the scene to pick up all the pieces. The Simmortal car's making sure that some sort of order's resumed. Oh dear me! And just what a great save.
Away with that one. Yeah, that was good.
Side-to-side contact's usually not too bad, and Johnny Brandon, I don't think, enjoyed that, flashing the lights at the Simmortal go-kart world car in front. Got 5 minutes to go here, and we're on lap 9, so we're probably going to get about 4 more laps in. We usually get about 12 laps in. It's been the order of play today. And the BMW is still going, so Michael Hall, it didn't end in total disaster for him. As we look at another BMW, Ben Gregory, sitting nicely at the front. The gap has been coming down recently. Michael Levdoka's been about half a second quicker on the last lap, but with a 2.3 second cushion, all is well for the BMW at the moment, and it's on course for a second victory today.
Yeah, I think so. Be in a good position there.
Looking here at Michael Blake sat in 3rd place, and then you can see the fight for 4th, make that 5th actually, as Pete Newman has a sort of comfortable advantage. We're just going to have to wait and see how quick Johnny Brandon is in the final 3 laps. You can see Pete Newman potentially, is he defending thin air there? I don't know.
Yeah, a little bit. Fastest lap was half a second quicker, wasn't it? So, you know, he's got the pace if Brandon wants to wind it up a little bit.
Coming out the boot section, you can just see in the background that the BMW of Woodhouse has now got Daleman for company. The gap between those guys is 2 tenths. For the penultimate corner there, Smile Tom, I think, will be very happy with a top 10 here at the Glen, one of the high-speed circuits.
All under a bit of pressure after having the contact earlier on. Who is that? That's Foggy behind, so we'll see how Foggy does up this hill.
I can tell you that we do have an off week next week in the GT Championship. Let's have a look. We're riding on board with Nicole Foggy. You can see the old F1 style steering wheel there on the left hand side. Here he goes. BMW hasn't got an answer.
Unfortunately, I think Hall's got a little bit of damage as well, which makes that look a lot worse than what I believe it actually is. But he's still up the inside. It's Michael Hall. Very strong racecraft as Hall. So Dima just runs it in a little bit deep. I'll give some confidence to Foggy that he can go and get another place here relatively quickly.
Out of the boot section. Oh, great run.
Great run.
Fantastic run by the XVR Sim Racing car of Foggy. He could get 6th place here going into the right-hander. Here comes the BMW. Hopefully this doesn't end in disaster. But through goes Foggy into 6th. And I wonder how long it will be before the BMW gets involved. It's not giving up though, and was that a hit? Might have been a little bit of a touch there going through the left-hander. And this 4-car scrap continues as Johnny Brandon, Foggy's teammate, starts to set to work on Pete Newman as the race winds down. And we get to the line, we're going to be starting the penultimate lap here.
Gap is almost under 2 seconds at the front as well. There it is, just pops in as I go through turn 1. So Doka closing in, they're about 1.7 seconds. That's when they pick up the draft as well. So we've got 2 more laps, I think, for Michael. So he's going to have to really go for it this time.
Let's have a look then. Johnny Brandon closing up to the Ferrari. Ferrari haven't been on the podium today. And how Pete Newman would want that to happen, I don't think it's going to happen because he's 1.7 seconds away. But a 4th place would still do the S-Line team a world of good. Ended up the inside there, no way through. Look at the run that the Mercedes seems to get on the exit. Looks like this Watkins Glen International Circuit is one for the Mercedes and the BMWs today. Pete Newman's all over the place and in the wall. And Brandon,
change the camera fast enough there to see what happened, but I was a bit worried for Brandon that he was going to get collected in that. Fortunately, Newman carries on. Just looked like Newman seemed to get massive amount of understeer, didn't it, on the way out? Yeah.
Now I haven't checked the track temperature for this final race of the day, just to see if it is perhaps a tyre wear issue. It is 28 degrees, the track temperature.
Yeah, should be no problem whatsoever. And they're only 20-minute races. You can double stint these tyres in sort of default conditions. So, who was that? That was Dima, all out of shape. He lost the place to Michael Hall, warming him, trying to get through at the same time. Couldn't quite do it.
About found a Mercedes-Benz width of space to slot back in. Final lap of the race then, and it looks like Newman could be about to lose another place. Here comes Foggy up the inside going into the first corner. Just out of shots, and there goes Warmingham as well on Delman. Look at the way they run out wide there. There is Foggy. Up into 5th position now, cracked the top 5. And that is, thank you. That is, that's probably as far forward as he's going to get us. Look at this. This is Daleman on the outside. The BMW just up the road is Hall. Then you've got the Simmortal car and the XVR car of Warmingham all in there as well. Oh, goodness. And there is contact. What a save, but it runs out of track.
Yeah. Yeah, the Anko just come up. I think he'll finish. It looks like he's got some damage, but should get it finished, so it'd be a shame for Richard, but
teammate Clark goes by. There's another of the small time car. That is Woodhouse trying to get by. Looking here also at Adam Hedgecock. He's got another big company. That is Paul Smith.
That's Hardy.
Oh, is it? Oh yeah, I'm looking at the car further down the order. Yeah, it's Hardy. Then we've got the McLaren of Hackerson behind as well. But here comes the BMW of Ben Gregory. 3 different teams have won tonight. We had XVR in race 1, CQR and Fabrications in race 2. And it's going to be Ben Gregory for Fitzstein Motorsport that wins the final race of the day here at the Glen. Michael Evdoka in 2nd. And it's going to be Simmortal on the podium as well, just in time before we do their prize where it lies in 3rd. And then Johnny Brandt in 4th. And Nicole Foggy, very, very close at the line. Foggy was, I think on my timing screen, it says half a tenth away. And I thought he couldn't get any more further forward. He nearly did. There's Bart Delman. Good drive from him. Great drive by Miguel Freitas as well. Hadn't been in pick of the action all night, but managed to gain 21 places. Here comes John Roberts. We always seem to follow him across the line. And look at this. This is Chris Wood versus Stuart McFadden. Chris Wood seems weird to not see him in an Audi. Yeah. But he's moved over to BMW this year.
Audi.
When you know when Chris Wood's given up on an Audi, you know it's bad, I think. Yeah. Over the line, he gets 28th place in the end. There's no point flogging a dead horse or dying Audi. Here comes Jason Rowe. I think that's the phrase. Jason Rowe in 35th then, coming into the penultimate corner. Team Mad. Incidentally, he's the only driver in the field that is currently running where he started. Comes through the final corner now to finish in 36th position. What's the criteria for this wheel that we've got coming up, Alex, as David White comes to the line and Simon Field?
I believe the criteria is you get in touch with Michael Blake and you purchase a slot or a segment on the wheel, and that can get you into this draw. So we're going to give it a spin, who it's going to come out. I've got a list of who it is, and yeah, you can get yourself one of Michael Blake's diecast models. And I have to say, I don't know if you guys saw the Apex Racing UK page. Got a moth decided to attack me. The other day we shared the MP430 that he did for me. Can't wait to receive that in the post. That looks absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I think it was 1/18th scale as well. So yeah, that's going to be I'm going to love that when that arrives. But yeah, go check out his work, of course.
Yeah,
Simmortal Facebook page. There's loads of pictures of what he's been up to. Some of the GT3s that he's been doing look absolutely gorgeous. And I'm not ashamed to admit that the Radicals car that he painted up looked lovely.
Yeah, the Apex ones as well, I must say, look pretty good.
I think we've got a few more F1 cars being done. I'm actually getting an old 2009 F1 car done to replicate my Williams. And I think we were going to try and get like a Formula Renault done as well on there. So yeah, I think we set the tone. I know there was like 4 or 5 orders coming from my team the minute they saw the pictures of mine. So I imagine he's pretty busy right now. Right, I have the final race results before we get this wheel up on screen.
Did you ever get your thing off Dennis Melcher saying?
I did. Yes,
Yeah,
the commentary trophy thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got. I think that's back at home. You know, I am back off to Nuneaton tomorrow, so I might pick that up and bring it back up, put in the new gaff next week. But let's run you through the finish this week. This will be the finishing order. Should also mention that this is the last World GT race before we have a break. It's I'm guessing this is to foreshadow any England participation next week, or if not, then I'm wrong. But that's why we're not here next week. So we'll be having a week off, and then after that we'll be back. Find the mouse, and I can bring up the calendar next week. 2 weeks time, we're going to be at Mid Ohio, so we continue our stay in America before we head to Belle Isle in Detroit. It's a circuit we're going to have to buy. So that'll be interesting. Look forward to that one in 3 weeks. But here's the finishing order then. Race victory for Ben Gregory. Second place for Michael Evdoka, then Michael Blake in third, Johnny Brandon in fourth. I had Nicole Foggy, who gained 29 positions. Joint biggest mover with a driver we'll mention in a minute. Nicole Foggy then in fifth, sixth Pete Newman, seventh Michael Hall, eighth Lee Deemer, ninth Kieran Roche, 10th Bart Delman, 11th Mark Woodhouse, Mattia Fellini. What a great drive by him. He gained 29 places as well. Finish in 12th. World Championship driver, proving the credentials right there. It shows that they don't hand out World Championship licenses to anybody.
Are you sure?
I've seen some of those World Championship Grand Prix Series races. I'm amazed how they've been handed out. 13th place for Luke Clark, 14th for Richard Warmingham, 15th for Miguel Freitas, Paul Smith finishing in 16th, 22 positions gained. After 2 terrible races, I think Paul was due a good performance, and very good job there. Adam Hedgecock, 17th, then Carl Hardy, Ben Hackerson, Stephen Dawson doing very well as well. A great race for the Smile Time team. 23 positions gained to finish in 20th. Pete Harrod started stone dead last and managed to gain 28 places to finish in 21st for the CQR club team. Then it's Josh Rayfield, Stuart Atkinson, John Roberts, dear me. Then hits Ronald Moons, Lee Woodburn, Stuart McFadden, Chris Wood, Simon Underhill, then Richard Kofenko, Dave White, Steve Baxter and Steve Burke. There they are in 32nd and 33rd. Then 34th, Anwar Smith, Jason Rowe, then David White. Simon Field actually managed to get a finish in the end, but it was 37th. But he did gain 5 positions and some points on the board for the Boosted Sim Sport team. Then Scott Malcolm, Nate Simpson, Christian Rose, Matt Keeber, Josh Thompson down in 42nd place. Many of these drivers involved in that just constant big wreck that we had on the opening lap of the race, or wrecks, plural, on the opening lap. Nicolo Kumo, Jack Stiles, Chaz Draycott, the pole sitter, didn't make it through one corner before he picked up damage, and that kind of snowballed into the wrecks that we saw through the rest of the lap. Then Matt Bunn, Andy Scheel, Mick Barry, and Dion Phillips. Stiles started about second or third on the grid, and he went very early too. So a lot of cars had issues there, and they'll be going into this week break hoping for better things when we come back at Mid-Ohio in 2 weeks' time.
Rightio. Let's get this wheel up, and then what we'll do is we'll have some interviews after we've spun the wheel. Shall we get Michael Blake in first before we spin it?
Yes, okay. Is it Michael Blake's wheel?
Yeah, it is.
It is. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you made me doubt myself there. I was like, oh, yeah, sure. Michael, hello.
Hi, guys.
Well, we're on standby, ready to spin your wheel, but we'll have a little quick interview with you first. How was the meeting today? I've lost you.
Yeah. It's not my wheel. But... Okay, it's my wheel. How you doing, guys?
Yeah, good. How's the meeting today?
Hang on a sec. I've got double play. Right. Sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Right.
I had the stream going as well.
Yeah. How was the race today for you?
Oh, it's a really good meeting, actually. 3 top 20. I don't think I've done that before. Yeah, it's great to get another podium as well. Some really good racing tonight. Really good.
Race 3 was a bit of carnage. Did you manage to get through it all?
Yeah, it was from where I was. It seemed pretty clean.
Well, you did keep a podium, didn't you? So you were in front of it all. You missed it all. So once Jazz made his little mishap, shall we say?
Yeah, I saw that on the start, and luckily I guessed right this week. I got it wrong last week and got in the crash, and got it right this week.
Stuff right. Obviously, we've got a lot of the segments purchased. A few that haven't. I wanted to say right now, I'm on slot 45, just in case anyone says it's rigged. Does Adam, have you got anything on here?
I haven't put any money towards it, unfortunately.
Typical
Did you?
Typical student. Right. Well, Michael, thanks for doing this. I'm looking forward to seeing what it's got. Who else has got got some slots? What do people want? Where do they want me to spin this thing to? All right. I've not spun it yet, actually, so this could be a dramatic fail.
Somebody not living in Australia.
Someone not in Australia.
Because the ticket price included the postage.
Okay. Yeah, you better off flying it over there personally, I think. Right. Here we go then. Let's give it a spin. Let's see where the first one ends up. 100 slots, of course, on this wheel. Oh, there goes mine. God damn it, come back. Small numbers, some large numbers. Oh, it's still going. Looks like it might be 38 or 20. No, 47. No, still going. Oh, come on! You know the person who was 40th is like, there is no way that should have stopped so quick, but it has, and it's pointing at 47.
That's Josh Thompson.
Josh Thompson. Well, he got absolutely hammered in that last one. He got rewarded with a, with a nice cast model.
Yeah, congratulations, Josh. If you want to let us know exactly what it is you want, and we'll get it underway for you.
Awesome
Shipping off
stuff.
to the Isle of Man, I believe.
Yeah, what's the delivery going to be like to that? That shouldn't be too bad, should it?
That shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, some stuff. Right, mate, Michael, thanks very much for doing that, and I'm glad that people are really showing a nice little interest in the products now as well, because they are, well, I haven't got mine to say how lovely it is, but the pictures are great. I'm looking forward to getting it.
Just want to thank everyone for supporting me doing this. It's it's really starting to pick up, and you'll get yours, Alex, as soon as I figure out how I'm going to post it, because it's giving me heart attacks at the moment.
No worries, no problem. Well, thanks very much. We'll let you go. We'll have a quick chat with some of the other guys that have done well tonight. We'll probably grab Josh in. Of course, he's a race winner and now a winner of the spin. So we'll bid you a good night, and we'll bring Josh up.
Cheers, guys. See you next week.
Thanks, Michael. Mr. Thompson.
Hey.
Well, that worked great.
Up.
Yeah, exactly. That race was shit, but there you go. You got a nice little reward there at the end.
Yeah, thanks for Michael for doing that. Like, I was gutted because obviously at first I wanted my race number, but Steve took it, so I was like, I'll go 47 because that's my second race number. And then I was sat in there, I didn't have the stream up, and all I could hear was Chaz saying it's 47. I was like, what? So yeah. Makes up for race 3 after throwing my headset across the room and stuff like that. So
there you go. Well, race 1 and race 2 after what happened last week was pretty good. The BMW looks pretty good for once around one of the power circuits.
yeah, I just worked really hard with the car, just thinking outside the box, knowing the car's had a bit of an improvement in straight line speed. I was like, I could work with this. Gone from low downforce to full downforce, full wing. It worked really well. So yeah, it was good.
race 1, we saw just before the start of the final lap when you were hunting down Nick or Foggy, you hit the inside curb just a tiny bit, and that seemed to unsettle the car. Was that the moment where the race victory looked like it had just started to slip away?
I knew straight away as soon as I hit the curb, that was it. It was race gone. I'd tried to tee it up for the outside for the end of the straight, which the move I'd been doing yesterday and today. But I knew I'd be a sitting duck with how fast Nicole was. The car, like looking back through the replays and stuff like that, his car without a toe would be 3 or 4 Ks faster. So I knew I'd be a sitting duck, and even if I tried to brake late, it'd still do me around the outside, the amount of grip there was. So obviously I wanted to see how much grip there was when I went for it the lap before, and then just knew I could try it on the last lap. So, which is a shame. I should have gone for it now looking back.
We're looking at the championship standings. You're now up to 3rd, 21 points behind Foggy, but 12 points behind Michi Gafenku in 2nd. So it looks like you're back on track.
It's not bad considering I've had 2 DNFs.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the reason why I got really angry and kind of like down about it. Was the fact that in all the races I've done, I've had 100% 1st or 2nd in the race that I've done this season. And then the 2 races where I've been taken out, it's been by no fault of my own. Like, yeah, I could say the last week's one at Co I could have avoided because I didn't expect them to lose the car on the AstroTurf, which is fair enough. But last race, literally, I just didn't know what to say. It was absolutely outrageous what happened.
Well, you've got a week to hopefully not contemplate on that, but 2 weeks' time, Mid-Ohio. Thoughts on that track? It's probably it's a complete contrast to Watkins Glen here, a lot more technical.
BMW track, 120%. So I thought Kota, and I'd say that the reason I chose a BMW is tracks like Mid-Ohio, Bow Isle and stuff like that. It's going to be really good. With the undulations and stuff like that, Mid-Ohio, it'll be quite good. The car's really nimble, quite light, which in some tracks is a pain with the bumps. But for Mid-Ohio, being light and nimble through the tight sections, I think the car will be a real nice thing to drive.
Belle Isle, have you had a chance to drive the track yet?
Yep, I have.
There you go.
BMW is quite good around there.
Great, well, I think we're just having a look at the race on the stream, but before we let you go, do you want to send a quick shout out to anybody? I think we might just be about to see the moment you probably don't want to see again in a minute.
Which one's that? Which part? There's 2 parts to it.
This is the first lap.
Oh, the first lap, that's okay. The second part's a more embarrassing one.
Oh, okay.
So, that's the reason why I didn't finish the second part. But
we'll stay with it.
No, don't worry. It's okay. It's like it's 2 laps later.
Well, there you go. You did. I thought you just about done one of the saves of the season when your teammate went off into the wall, but unfortunately,
yeah, it was the tiniest touch, but it was such a jolt. I had to let go of the wheel, which then cost it. By the time I got onto the clutch, I just couldn't catch it.
Get going again. There's a lot of damage to the front right, but
it's
at this point, is it still drivable? It looks like
it was drivable. Got back to the pits, got a fast repair, but obviously the tyres are warm. I didn't take the tyres to keep on the lead lap to score point. Went out, did a lap, and then lap 3 going down the back straight into that right, I lost the rear, half spun and it flung across the other way and hit my teammate and wrote my car off again, so that was why I DNF.
I think Alex is trying to find it on the replays just before we let you go. Oh, this is lap 1 again, Alex.
Yeah, that's right. I'll get it there. Hold on.
She's trying to find it now.
So look, definitely find it. Oh, the Audi. That was Chaz already with the damage, going from a wild ride. And then now we go back.
How long were you sat in this little spot contemplating whether or not you were going to jump back to the pits?
No, by then I'd left my rig.
Oh, there you go. I've had enough of this.
Oh, he was. I've gone back 50 seconds. He's still sat there. Right, 2 minutes. Surely we'll get it.
I hope I've been able to see this because sometimes my iRacing does have a tendency to make a few cars disappear, so we're building up to it here. What time are we on? It is 25 to 11 here in the UK.
See this, we'll get a few more interviews in after that.
And it is still light. Well, we've got plenty of we've got to stay up because we've got the Ritmatech Sports Car Series in.
Pass a bit of time.
In about an hour and a bit. We could keep on the room. Oh, here we go. This is lap 3. We're looking at Josh Thompson here. Well, we were. There he is. His way down the back straight. There's a car behind. Now going into the carousel. Oh!
Oh no.
That's a bit of... Oh! Oh, and there he goes.
Snap back as well.
Yeah, at that point, the mechanical flag came back up.
Yeah, I think that's done.
There you go.
Alright, awesome.
Well, on that note, we'll bid you adieu and yeah, see you in 2 weeks at Mid-Ohio, where I think we can expect a triple race victory for the B&W.
That's the plan to make up for 2DNF.
There you go. Brilliant. Brilliant as always, Josh. We'll speak to you in a bit.
See you later.
I don't know. Who are you targeting next, Alex? I think we've got Ben Gregory on the way.
We have indeed got Ben Gregory. He's here already.
Hello.
Hello. Well, Ben, you didn't have so much dramaticness going on out there for you. That was a nice, steady, clean, safe race. What was all this craziness going on that everyone's talking about? You didn't experience that.
Honestly, I heard a lot of it from the rest of the team, but that was I kind of wish I was in the back part, kind of, because it sounded like one hell of a fight. But I feel so bad for Chaz. Honestly, we kind of he had a great jump. We had a great jump around Lee, and then his car just went right. I feel so bad for him, but it did give me a win. So kind of happy, but also I feel so bad. I could have had such a good fight with him.
Well, I mean, you didn't really look back. I mean, there was a bit of pressure towards the end of the race from Evdoka, but I don't think you were ever too worried that he was going to get there, really, were you?
I wasn't too worried with Michael. I know how quick he is, and I respect the hell out of the guy. I was also a little bit worried about some of the really fast boys coming through the field, but with I was just keeping an eye on the relative, just to see. Oh, you are got a little bit further back, but yeah, it was if it was a bit longer, I think I might have been under having a bit of a scrap. But oh, that's a stressful evening.
Well, congrats. Well, how did race 1 and 2 go now? Because yeah, I digress and can't remember exactly.
Race 1, I was at work.
So that was the extra car in race 2, Adam.
There you go. I wonder what was 49. Yeah.
There's a few extra cars in race 2, but race 2 up to, I think it was 23rd or 22nd, so from 48. So I'm happy to get put through without many incidents as well. I almost had 2-0 exit races. So pretty clean, so at least I've gone up on the clean driver standings for once.
Oh, awesome stuff. Right, mate, we're going to hammer off the last 2 interviews, so take the mick out of Chaz for the noobness that was term 1. But anyone you want to give a quick shout out to?
Honestly, all of the Frostfit boys, because they've been so bloody good to race with. Michael as well, same him. All of Jack and comment no show Tiago. But to be fair, everyone who we've been racing with, because it's been last week, this week, have been actually a hell of a lot of fun. And I can't wait, especially till we go to Detroit.
Awesome. Right, well, thanks very much, mate. We'll we'll catch you in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, see you around.
Let's bring Christian Rose in first. I want to save the best till last. Christian, first, I'm trying to think. First race, didn't you get involved in something?
First race,
Remind me.
I think it was fairly clean. First race for me. No, but first race is very boring actually. After I lost the draft, it was just a.
Oh no, you're right. Yeah,
round.
you had a good first race, didn't you? So.
Yeah, so pace wasn't really in the Ferrari this evening. Okay, we didn't really get much testing done, but I don't know. I feel like going on Jason Plato on here and saying we haven't got enough boost. But yeah, no, it was a good result. Me and Dave scored some really good points for the team, so I was pretty happy about the first race.
And race number 2?
That's probably one of my best ever races. That was so much fun trying to catch the Mercedes ahead, and to make the move stick was extremely difficult because how fast they were at the corners. You really had to be very committed just to make the move stick. So that was really fun. I think it was 5th place in the end.
Oh,
so yeah, really pleased with that.
Just watch. You had the snap at the carousel as well in race 3. That's literally what we've just seen on the stream, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I think I can't remember. I think it might have been Luke Clark possibly, and whoever else it was ahead of me. And one of them checked up, and I thought I might hit him, so I had to check out as well. And it's just the diff locked, and it just sent me into the wall.
That been there so many times as well.
Yeah.
It's so frustrating because you look like the complete and utter idiot for trying to avoid hitting someone. You know?
Yeah. Oh my god! Why didn't I just knock him off instead and carry on? No, that's part of it, isn't it? That would have been a really good points haul. So that happens, and it's racing.
So, a week off, then we are mid-Ohio. Did Adam say?
Yeah, that's right.
Earlier on?
Yeah.
So I'm looking at the Ferrari. I'm thinking that's probably not a track that the Ferrari's going to enjoy as well, because just straights are just even shorter. No real place for you to get that thing wound up.
Yeah, I wanted to go to Le Mans at least 3 or 4 times this season.
But you didn't want to have it, no?
No, I can't see why not. No, I actually did. This was just after the last season finished. I was doing some laps around Mid-Ohio with a few other cars, and I really enjoy the circuit. I think it's the middle part of the lap where you're up and down. You can't really see the apex. It's just going to be for some really cracking racing. I don't think the Ferrari is going to suffer as much as we did here.
Yeah, it might actually work almost in reverse, because it is so short. Everyone's in the same position, you know. No one winds it up. So.
Yeah, no, I think on racing I've done a pretty good job of getting the cars balanced. You know, I'm not sure if it's just this circuit that really hit the Ferrari a tiny bit, but they say we'll crack on. We'll try and work on a setup over the next week and a bit. Try and come back even stronger. Take the flight to Nicole.
Awesome. All right, mate. Anyone want to give a quick shout out to?
Once again, just Mark at Racehub. Once again, supporting not only just the team but the championship as well. Obviously, Michael as well with Simmortal, and everyone else at CQR.
Thank you, mate. And we'll catch you next in a couple of weeks' time.
Thank you.
Right, I said we'd leave him till I've missed Stu. Sorry, Stu, this is going to be the last one because we have gone on a little bit long. But Jazz, well, you're going to do it, mate. Do it in style, I guess. First lap, right in front of the whole field.
Yeah, I said to the boys, I'm on pole, I'm going to bin it up the S's, because I've been having trouble up the S's all night with oversteer. The back end of that Ferrari, that's how bad it is. I don't even know what car I'm in. The Audi just didn't want to stick to the ground. Been having trouble with it all night, and then it was just unsettled on the down change into turn 1. I just went a bit too aggressive with it, and round it went.
Yeah, I mean, it was a shame. I thought when you got knocked for a moment, actually it kind of knocked you straight, and you kind of got away with it, but I'm guessing big time suspension damage from the hit.
Yeah, I got a meatball in the end from it. Jack couldn't do anything to avoid me, to be fair. He said he felt bad about it, but yeah, there was nothing he could do. And then I was just sort of minding my own business down the right, and the accident caught up with me as it went on, and I went flying through the air, and just sort of coincidentally so did my headset from that point onwards. I'm amazed it's working right now, actually. It hit the wall at the other end of the room quite hard. So it's just one of them things. It's what this sim does to you. Emotions run high and things like this, and people take it seriously, but that's what we all love about it, innit? That's why we're all here, for the love of motorsport.
Well, yeah, exactly. You got to take the rough with the smooth. If it was just wins all the time, then you know.
Yeah, you get bored of it.
Exactly.
Not like racing AI on R Factor. It's real people and everyone getting annoyed and having a good time, and there's a mix of emotions. But like I say, we all love it. That's why we come back week after week, innit?
All right, mate. Quick shout out for the team. Who makes it happen for you?
Well, Steve for helping out tonight. The Fitstyle boys for finally getting a win. Ben putting a brilliant effort tonight. Really, really, really chuffed to see them boys doing really well after all the effort they put in. Josh Thompson gave us a massive amount of help with the setups tonight as well, actually. So big shout out to him as well, and also for winning the model. We've just been discussing details of that with Michael Blake. And you guys again for broadcasting it. And yeah, I'll be seeing you tomorrow night for the MX5s.
Cool. Thanks very much, mate. Have a
Cheers,
good one.
boys.
Yep. See you tomorrow.
See you in a
So
bit.
Rich,
Right, let's wrap this show up and get out of it.
yeah, that is it. So yeah, great evenings racing. Watkins Glen delivering again, and yeah, we'll have a week off, and then we'll be back in 2 weeks at Mid Ohio. But we're not done tonight. We're back in
Couple hours.
2.5 hours. Yeah, 1:15 a.m. for the.
You don't all stay up. I don't know. You know, I'll be disappointed. Come on.
Come on, we got to really.
We need
Even
some
if it
banter.
is,
Keep us awake.
I know. I was trying to make sure I didn't use all of it today in this broadcast, so I could save it for later. Yeah, Rivertech Sports Car Series is back. Just seeing after its week off, seeing where we're going to. Actually, I've just
Brands Hatch, actually. So we're in the UK, so a bit of a favourite, and for these guys.
first time in a while I think that the series has been to, if ever.
Watch some Americans try and tackle that place.
Got Paddock Hill Bend. God, I wonder how they pronounce some of those corners. Yeah, that'll be interesting. That's worth staying up for. So join us at 1:15. I think it'll probably just about be dark by that point. And
I tell you.
and then when we finish, yeah, we're into the dawn chorus. But yeah, my thanks to Alex for being on the cameras and for being in the comms box and providing some great insight throughout the evening on how all these sports cars work. And we'll be commentating on some more sports cars later on tonight in the Rivertech Sports Car Series. So from me and from Alex here at the Watkins Glen International Circuit, see you in a few hours.